Welcome back. For a country that invented Halloween, it's no wonder that we have a long history with ghosts and the paranormal.
Yes, and with the new Ghostbusters movie hitting cinema screens this weekend, attention has turned back to ghost hunting. Join us now from Paranormal Supernatural Investigations Ireland are Richard Morrison, Anthony Douglas and Ronan O'Grady. Good morning, guys. So I have to ask, obviously, like we said, we invented Halloween. We've had the Tuatha Dé Danann, we've had the Dini Shi. Have you always believed in ghosts and spirits all your lives?
Oh, definitely, yeah, most definitely. We were a bunch of like-minded people that got together.
And how did you get together? I mean, was it a social media thing or what?
Just knew one another through friends, and I know a guy and he'd like to do it, and
yeah,
that kind of thing.
And off it went.
Yeah. What about yourself? When did you start believing, or did you feel anything? Like, what prompted your interest in this?
I think from being a 5-year-old child, that's had my own personal experiences, and I've always had the interest of the afterlife, I should say, and it's carried to me to this day. So yeah.
Was there something that happened when you were a 5-year-old child?
Oh yeah. I mean, I believe that I seen the spirit of my great-grandfather. So that was, 2 nights in a row. It wasn't one night. It was actually a period of 3 times it happened over the space of 10 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it at crisis times in your lives, or was it just random appearances?
Just random appearances, and it usually happened when I would wake up. Well, I woke up out of a sleep, so I believe that was my great-grandfather trying to make me wake up to see him there.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. That's fascinating.
Yes.
All right. What about you, sir, Ronan? Have you always believed too?
I just wanted to go out and start doing something like this. So I just went out one night with a friend of mine into a graveyard. And I said, I'd love this.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'd love this.
And have you experienced anything yourself?
I saw a shadow, all right, in the graveyard, all right. And I just looked.
And was that down to street lights? I'm not being cynical, I'm just saying, but was it down to anything like?
No.
There was a shadow.
Yeah.
A shadow.
And can I ask now, we've come a long way from the mythology and storytelling that used to be so prevalent in Ireland. So do you meet much scepticism from people?
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
But, I love skeptics, because when they come up to me in the street or whatever, and they say, you know this thing you're at, and with the finger, and I go, oh, lovely, here we go. And after 15 minutes then talking to them, they're walking off scratching their head.
Really?
After showing them some photographs or whatever I'd have on my phone, I'd say, well, can you explain that to me, or explain this?
Yeah.
And then they walk off scratching their head,
We've had public paranormal investigations just recently at Kennedy Castle, and we've had skeptics that came along. They've told us they're skeptics, they're just coming along to support their wives, coming along for these events. And at the end of the night, at the end of the investigation, from what they've actually witnessed themselves, they've come up and shook our hands and said, look, fair play, guys, I've actually now got a different opinion to what I had before I walked on here. And even the members of the public themselves had absolutely captured some fantastic evidence. It was just recently on the national news there, just a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you can't make that up. It happened there and then in front of about 18 to 16 people.
Okay. It's just that people will go and see things and or go and see, be it a walk around somewhere. And these are tours that you can pay money and go with a whole group of people.
We've one coming up on the 23rd of April in Kennedy Castle. And the skeptics come, and we know, and when we're in the group, we're there trying to pick them out. But at the end of it, there's no skeptic.
There is no skeptic.
There's none.
Can I ask, how do you choose where you go for an investigation? How do you choose those places?
We look through history, ley lines, Neolithic sites. We find the older the site, that there may be a castle built on, that
Okay, the more activity.
holds more energy.
Okay.
More energy.
Well, like Ronan, these spirits that you guys come across, is there a reason why they haven't passed over? We hear stories of that they might have had an early death, an unexpected death. There might be, something sinister that happened to them, and they haven't passed over.
Some of them like to stay, some of them might want to go. But they probably haven't said goodbye to their loved ones yet. So they're hanging around. So they are.
And so if it's something like that, do you feel the difference in the energy, that it's more morose and sad than threatening?
Yeah, you would. We can feel when we go into with the team. There's several of us in the team, and unfortunately some of them couldn't be here today. But when we go into an area, we can feel immediately that there's a good energy or a bad energy. And if it's bad, we don't hang around.
Really?
You don't really want to be hanging around for that.
You bring attachments with you.
Okay.
They can attach to you because at the end of the day, we're all energy ourselves, and we believe that energy can manipulate your own energy.
Okay, so how do you, apart from like, I'm out of here, are there other means and other measures you take to protect yourselves?
Well, we say the prayers to Saint Michael, the Archangel. He's the protector of all ghost hunters, we'd say, you know. I don't know, does he know that? But
He got the gig.
well, he got the gig, yeah, and we're all praying to him like crazy, you know. We got sage, and we have
of course.
we'd have mediums that would cleanse in a group, and we'd hold hands, and we'd...
So if someone suspects that they have a paranormal spirit in their house, how can they be sure?
Well, they generally have the feeling.
Yeah.
Stuff would be happening in the house.
Okay, like what?
Well, stuff could be moving, falling off walls.
Switches turning themselves off and on with the lights actually going on and off. You know, that's not happening due to a fault. The actual switches turning off and on
I
physically.
feel like something's going to start flickering now because
Well, as long as they're not leaving the immersion on, they're all right.
But there is a lot of factors that you can debunk, and the more technically we get as we advance ourselves, the ball boils down to, you know, you have to kind of dissect all of this. You know, so you have to look at the bigger.
We don't use Ouija boards, okay?
We never use Ouija boards.
We figure they bring a bad energy. But we have this new novel idea now, which is called a paranormal word search.
Right.
And we're the first ones ever to run this ever. So what we do is we have this Ovilus 5, and there's the phonetics on this, and when we hit it, it starts picking up energies in letters. And what we do then is we write the letters down as they come out. And I've done one here for Ireland AM, Virgin Media, 24.
Just in the time you've been here?
Yeah, I've been doing it the whole time. So it's there, and you can take a picture of that. And what you can do is you can run through it and see, can you make out any names of something, or loved ones or entities, spirits, ghosts, or legendary Irish heroes,
Right,
etc.
Shiva, you're doing the rest of this on your own.
It does say get rid of Martin King. Actually, if you look really closely.
You don't need one of them to find that out.
So, guys, what's the scariest thing you've ever come across?
Do you want to?
The scariest thing. I'm going to be honest with you. We wouldn't be doing this, you know, if it really. I mean, the scariest thing I should say. We were in the Battle of Aughrim a couple of years ago, and we try to do these investigations where it mirrors events. So you know the history of the Battle of Aughrim, you know, back in 12th of July. So we did that investigation around that time, exact time, and it was standing in the middle of a field. It's an absolute empty field, and we're all of a sudden, it was this same jacket. It was like a pull in the back of the jacket. Now, I believe, even from that moment in time, I believe that was a horse. It did that. You know, if a horse would grab, you know, pull. Yeah. It's like that. It wasn't even like it was an animal spirit. That's.
But before we take a look at some of the equipment, the other equipment you brought with you, tell us about this green lady.
Oh, yeah. That was very interesting. That I was in Glasgow with my dad, bringing him back to see his last remaining relative. And I decided I'd go into the Scotia bar. Now, I didn't realise it was the oldest bar in Glasgow. So I went in, and I think Manchester United and Liverpool were playing on the TV, and I had that much of the pint gone when I was getting drawn to these parasols that were beside me. And something was saying, pull them back. So I pulled it back, and it said, the Scotia bar is the home of the Grey Lady, and this snug that I was in was her favourite haunt. So I immediately got up the camera, and I started taking pictures around. And when I went back and I looked at the pictures, I saw that after 1843 to 1847, a face had appeared you can see it on the right-hand side, of a lady with her head turned sideways. Yeah. Now, it's not in... There's time frames on those.
Your microphone's just slipped off, but go on.
Paranormal.
She doesn't want you to talk about her.
No, yeah. And on the left, the spirits use light, medium, and smoke and mirrors and that to manifest. Yeah. So she manifested herself to me within the space of a few minutes.
Lucky you.
Cool. She was green, so she's a Celtic fan. So happy about that.
Yeah. Right, Richard, you're going to come over and show us a few things over here.
That you brought with you.
Now, these look quite technical.
Yeah.
So talk us through some of these gadgets. Okay. I feel like we're on the toy show.
Yeah, it does look it. So basically, this device here that I have is an SLS camera. It's a structured light sensor camera. Okay. We use this in investigations. As I said, these are all what you have here is tools. And, you know, we would scan this in the middle of an investigation. And what it's meant to do is bring up a stick person. If I was able to shine it over here, it would actually show one of the members there. But on a room, imagine on yourself, and it's empty, all of a sudden you see a stick man appear. So we believe that that could be an entity trying to manifest. And what we do then, by backing that up, we get our cameras and we'll take lots and lots of pictures. We will, do EVPs with our voice recorders.
Can I ask what exactly it's picking up? It's not heat.
No.
Is it energy?
Energy. That's
Energy.
correct.
Okay.
But like I said, you have to be, like I said, it will pick up anything in a physical form.
Right.
It will still pick that up. So you have to kind of debunk it. You have to be careful with it.
Of course.
But again, when we've had results where it's shown where we've been in Cornwall now, for example, just over 3 weeks ago, we were in a room. I've said, if there's anybody here, can you go and touch the cat ball? The cat ball is a little sensor light. And all of a sudden, you can see the image appear. It's on our social media. You can see the image appear, and then all of a sudden, you can see the cat ball going off, flashing.
I'll have to have a look at that.
So could you imagine if I didn't have the SLS, you would just see a cat ball. But here, you're actually seeing an entity appear.
Well, I'm just impressed that the ghosts know about the modern technology that you have with you.
We call that intelligent energy. You have,
Right.
so people, this here device here is an infrasound, and every time before we do an investigation, it works on megahertz. So we would play this on a certain megahertz, like say 19 megahertz, and it actually, we believe, it enhances the energy in the room for us when you start the investigations. So, and this one here is the Phasm cam, so it's like a full spectrum camera. Again, talking about the cameras. Sorry, I don't actually have the camera on here at the moment, but we would use these lights, the magenta light, which we believe that actually enhances any energy in the room too. So it does.
Oh,
Okay.
that
It's
is
fascinating.
absolutely fascinating. Like, we don't have time to go through that actually. Well, hold on. What's the name of this?
This is the Phasmatron GD2000, and no one has that in the world, by the way. That was designed by us from a physics engineer who has a belief in the paranormal, but will not put his name down because of the friction between science and paranormal.
Right.
And this is the device that
This is the only one in the world. And
That's
that
the only
does-
one. It's the only one. It's a very highly tuned EMF reader.
Right.
So any height, like if I was to set this off now with all the equipment, it's going to go off straight away.
Okay.
But it's only been used in a place where we know there's no electrical devices. But it's been giving us fantastic results recently.
Sounds dangerous, Richard. Richard and Anthony and Ronan, thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us today.
you.
That was super fascinating.
We have a few cups for you two guys to give these.
Oh,
well, thank you very
super
much.
happy
There we are.
days. For more information from the team at Paranormal Supernatural Investigations Ireland, check out their website at psiireland.com.
Up next, we've got a beefy feed waiting for us in the kitchen. We'll see you for that in just a few minutes.